Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here is the Prince of Cups. This is some energy trying to break through, right? This is perhaps learning to trust the energy that is, the impulse that is coming from within you, okay? Let's put it into some context. Let's see what's going on here. What are we being asked to trust? Well, there's some effort involved here. Got a lot of court cards already. Interesting. We get interesting with these tens. Let's find out what else is going on. 7 of Swords, a 5. More court cards. All right. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We'll just take, I don't know, this one right here. We'll put Kevin, aka Mr. Bates, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. All right. If at any point during the reading you think you know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments below. All right. Let's do it together. It's a group exercise, right? You're here. Might as well put you to work. But let's see what's going on here first. I noticed right away that there's no major arcana energy. Nothing, right? We're going to have to do an Jing reading for this one because I feel as if I feel like there's this energy trying to burst forth from you. See, we've got this Prince of Cups right here in the middle. We've got fire, quite a bit of fire actually, right? Fire here. The only water we have is what's preventing this this truth from coming forth. Okay. So we have air, and then we've got some earth. And I think that there's a lot of creativity in you. There's a lot that you are going to accomplish. There's a lot that you already have accomplished. Look at this Queen of Pentacles. Now, with the amount of success that you've already had in your life, there's a tendency to look at those days as our best days, you know? And I wonder if maybe that's a little bit of what's going on right now, especially with this, with the 1111 portal, that is, its influence extends 3 days before, 3 days after, right, of 1111. So we're still within that window, okay? And I feel like what's taking place with you is a little bit of pessimism. Yeah. I think what you need is a bit of encouragement here. Because I think that you're looking at everything that you've accomplished. See, this figure's looking at the past. And thinking, well, I've come a long way. I've done a lot. You've been through a lot. You've suffered a lot. You've succeeded a lot. But now it's the feeling that we need to then turn this card, face them the other way. Let's look to the future now, you know? So I think that this portal is really affecting you in that it is, it's opening up all of this memory, right? It's opening up a lot of this unconscious stuff. It's showing you an entire world in your past. Yeah. It's doing that for a reason, though. We can't get stuck in that, in this vision of the past. We have to move toward the future. It's providing you an opportunity to break through your limitations, right? And what I mean is, with these two, the tens, right? 10 of wands, 10 of swords, they're both active elements. And it's saying we need to exceed this, we need to exceed this. What I feel like has happened is you've put yourself in a bit of a gilded cage. Okay? And I think this is the gilded cage of the past that says, you know, hey, I was once an eagle that would just soar, and my days are behind me now. Now I'm comfortable living in this cage in someone's living room or whatever. You know, I'm really not a big fan of having birds as pets. I don't know, maybe because when I was a kid, my parents had these big parrots, macaws, and, I don't know. What do you think of having birds as pets? I'd like to hear your opinion. I need to know I'm not alone with this. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a good thing. Unless you have a lot of big aviary or something, or like a lot of land where they can fly, but I don't know. Anyway, I feel as if this is what we need to escape from. The feeling as if your best days were behind you, and now we just are sitting here comfortably, and, you know, I wish there was more that we could do, but this is my life now, and I'm convincing myself that I'm comfortable here, that this is where I belong, that it's kind of like, you know, what they say, being put out to pasture. You know, I think this was an eagle that once soared very high, very free, saw a lot, and now is trying to be okay with not being that eagle anymore. Now just being a little finch in a little cage, thinking this is the best it's going to get. Right? Let's be happy that we have what we have, you know. And there is some logic and truth to that. It makes sense to me. It seems okay. Spirit is trying to tell you that we've got to get out of that sentimentality. You got to get fired up again. The Prince of Cups is surrounded in this water energy, right? Surrounded in this sentimentality, surrounded in this emotion. There's nothing wrong with emotion, but if we use it as a warm blanket, in this case perhaps a wet blanket, we are concealing the truth that is within this card. We're concealing who you really... There's a voice inside of you that's trying to get out, but we can't hear it because it's within all of this water energy, right? It's like when you got a little burp that needs to come out, you know. But I think that this portal is opening for you as a way to see that this cage that you're in is not real, right? That it might just take a level 10 amount of effort to get out of a level 10 cage, right? We kind of need to maximize this. This is the idea of focusing your energy. This is not a dissipating, wild, chaotic kind of 10 of wands here. Okay, this is very focused. This is Saturn in Sagittarius. You need some discipline. Saturn is one of those energies that says, yeah, things are bad, things suck, but that doesn't get you out of it, right? That's not an excuse. Things are bad, things suck, yeah, but I don't care. Saturn says you're going to do it. And you're going to do it now. You're going to need that discipline. And in some ways, Saturn is that nostalgia, that lamentation, that wish, that longing, that sadness, right? That melancholy. And that is the motivation. We're using that, channeling that, sublimating that into positive action, into an arrow that is really going to fly right through the bars of this cage. And this is the 10 of Swords is the belief system. This is the limitation that we've put on ourselves. Now, maybe you're working on something, and that was a lot of kind of, you know, flowery words, but I didn't really say very much, did I? I think you're working on something that has stalled a little bit, or it's been delayed, or it seems like perhaps the business deal fell through. The contract fell through, the plans kind of got ruined. Something happened, and it was very disheartening. Now, you know, I can totally see that. Especially with the 7 of Pentacles up here. You feel like you tried, it didn't work, it's staying in my cage. You know, this is like maybe you tried to get out of the cage one time, it didn't quite work, and then you gave up. Or you're thinking about giving up. Okay? We're stuck in those emotions of kind of wanting to give up, knowing that we shouldn't, feeling this fire underneath us, but not yet seeing the path forward. See, the Ten of Swords, it feels like there was a relationship maybe that just didn't work. It just fell apart. A business deal fell apart, right? A business plan, right? Some plans or projects or relationships, maybe all of the above. And things fell apart. Okay, and that is enough to give us the feeling like, why should I put in all of that effort again just to have it amount to nothing? So this is the idea, this is the energy that really wants to just throw down the shovel and say, I'm going to quit being a gardener. I can't grow anything. And that was me at one point, literally with gardening. I've always wanted to have an herb garden, right, on my porch or in the window or wherever I could. I used to live in a desert, right? And I would try to grow herbs, and I'd keep them in the house, or I'd put them outside, then I'd bring them in the evening, and I'd water them. They died every single time. I kept trying, they kept dying. It was too hot, it was too dry, I gave them too much water, not enough water. I just threw down my shovel and I gave up, I quit. Until I moved here, we're a little bit up north more, right? It's colder here, but the summers are very nice for growing plants. So it's not that I don't know what I'm doing, which, I mean, I don't really. My wife, she's the gardener. It wasn't that my intention was wrong, that my will was wrong, but my methods plus the location were just not compatible, right? So I either had to learn a new way of doing things or move somewhere else where my current knowledge and skills can be adapted to that, an environment that's more compatible, right? I kind of feel like that's what's going on here too with these two, right? Because it's environment with the earth and it is our methodology with the air, with the swords. So it might not be that your intention is wrong at all. Your will is not wrong at all. It just might not be the right pieces of the puzzle that fit together in the right way right now. And I think Spirit's trying to show you that you either have to change your methodology, right? Change the business plan, change your approach, change your timeline, perhaps, change the organization or the structure of what you're doing, or change where you're doing it, what you're doing it to, right? So we're either changing our methodology or we're changing the venue. I think that's part of the message here. And interestingly, we have more air energy underneath everything. This is the Knight of Swords. This could be a Libra person involved in this with you. And I almost feel like this is maybe an air sign person generally. But I'm feeling like this is the person that you want to talk to, or that maybe you know you should talk to, but you don't really want to, right? This is kind of like that phone number, that business card that you got in your pocket, and you're just thinking, it's like a last resort. I don't want to call them. I don't want to talk to them, but maybe in this situation, that's going to be the best bet. You know, maybe this is a different contact within the organization. Maybe it's a friend or a family member. Maybe it's someone that you don't want to have to admit that you need their help, right? Because I feel like they would kind of swoop in and be like, oh, I told you so, or I knew that you couldn't do this without me, right? So I feel like there's a reluctance to call this person or whoever this might be. They might be an air sign person, maybe. Maybe not. Before we move to the path of the serpent, let's do our I Ching reading, okay? We'll do this really fast. This will be one hexagram to cover this reading. Since we don't have any major arcana energy, let's find out why or what we need to do to tap into spirit, to get that energy front and center, because Spirit's not gone. Spirit is just underneath everything. Spirit is kind of the table here, right? But I would like to see something kind of float to the surface that we can look at to see where we should focus our spiritual energies in order to move this thing along in the right direction anyway. That feels right. 42, increasing. Fruitful to have a direction to go, fruitful to cross the great river. So in terms of direction, I kind of think of air energy, right? And as far as the great river, I think of the water energy. So it's kind of a confirmation of this, that this is the way to go, that we need to cross that river of our feelings, that river of our doubts, the river of our lamentation, of our sorrow for whatever hasn't worked, right? We need to cross that river. We need to have a direction. We need that air energy in there. We need to figure out a plan of how we're going to move forward. And then we've got to cross over the feelings that right now is kind of like a moat surrounding us. We need to cross over that. Here's that hexagram. The old Chinese character for increasing shows a pot filled to overflowing. It means blessing and superabundance. Respond with purpose and movement. Let yourself imagine where you want to be and take the first steps that commit you to getting there. This is how to keep the momentum. Let yourself imagine where you want to be and take the first steps that commit you to getting there. That's interesting, especially when we get to the path of the serpent, because we have this 8 of Wands. And to me, this is kind of like, that is the imagination, right? Let's see. What would you do if you knew you were blessed? What if there were no limits? What could you change for the better? So no limits, getting out of that cage, right? Using our imagination. Well, first let's have a direction to go. Let's figure out the next step. Let's figure out a plan here. Do we call this person? Do we change our methodology? Do we change the object to which we're applying our force? Or change the venue, right? Change the object of our sentence. This is what the 7 of Swords is all about. Figuring out if we need to switch gears. Figuring out if we need to switch tracks, right? All these are just little side tracks on the train track. And we're going in one direction. And perhaps this is one of those times where this card is showing the need to switch the track, right? Usually I say, well, you're on your Ace of Swords there, and you're staying the course, and all these things are trying to knock you off course, but you're staying right there in the middle. Maybe that's not always a good thing, right? Maybe there's too much expectation of the way things should be going, right? So yes, we need a direction. It's fruitful to have a direction to go, to have a destination in mind. But perhaps what track we're on to get there is a track that's not working for us anymore, because I think it is a rusty, crooked track leading to a dead end. So we either change the dead end or we change the track we're on, right? Like I would with my whole gardening debacle. So that could be the case here, all right? That we may need to formulate a new methodology, use a different approach, get on a different track perhaps to get to the destination that we want. Now, it's interesting that we have this air, and we have the 10 of Swords, and we have the 7 of Pentacles. Here we have the 7 of Swords, right? So we're taking the lessons from here. We're taking what didn't work here. We're using that to build confidence in our new approach. And our new approach is leading to a lot of changes. The 5 of Pentacles in the environment, this is not a negative card. Sure, it shows worry It shows anxiety. But it shows that we're moving things, that we're getting things done, that things are progressing. You know? Perhaps we're able to repair this, perhaps with a little bit extra water or sunlight, a little bit of miracle grow or something. We could change this, right? Or this is saying that we're changing this. Something is changing. Gosh darn it. And that's the Five of Pentacles. It's time to do something different. It's time to get this figure here. Because remember, this card's still back here, and just looking at all the track that you've already driven down, right? The road that you've already taken. We can't change any of that. But perhaps there's a lot we can learn from this path, even though it didn't quite work. What can we learn from here that we can then switch this around and change to make progress going forward? Now, the Eight of Wands. This is that imagination that the I Ching is calling for. And this is where Spirit will reveal itself to you. This is where the true nature of this 1111 portal, which is still open, is going to reveal its purpose to you, for you. Okay? It's hitting us all differently. Let yourself imagine where you want to be and take the first steps that commit you to getting there. So, with this, there is the imagination there. There is that rainbow, right? There is just this. With that rainbow, we can paint any kind of picture we want. And depending on what picture we have, that's going to change what direction we take. So this might be that moment where we decide what track we're going to get on. Right? It's the compass rose. It's showing every division of the circle. And we need to go in the direction of that rainbow. Okay? Because that is the picture we're painting. That's what you envision for yourself. That's what Spirit is revealing to you. Most of our spiritual work takes place in our imagination. There's TT, the hairless cat, to confirm all of this. You don't have to believe me. Believe her. Okay? This is that work that we need to do right now. To imagine, use your mind. Use the pictures in your head, your mind's eye. Use your imagination. Envision where you want to be and how we're going to get there and what road we need to take. And make it as real as possible. The power of visualization is unmatched by anything else. And to do that, then we need courage. Here's the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands is interesting because it's water and fire, right? Water and fire. So it's taking it's taking a lot of that water energy, taking that emotion, matching that up with the fire of the imagination. See, we've got a lot of fire here. And it is taking this plus the water. And that creates a sort of, that creates an intuition, that creates a bit of a value almost, a set of principles, a purpose, a sense of destiny, right? A sense of meaning, right? Emotion and ambition is a kind of a purpose-driven life, right? So this is the confidence with which we are approaching our work once again. Despite what feels like a major setback, probably not as major as we think. This is, in effect, the Sagittarius archetype in practice, right? So this is kind of like your power card. We can say that, right? Queen of Wands, the mutable fire energy. And I think that this is you really stepping back into your power, stepping back into your confidence. And with the 10 of Wands, because it does have these two prominent wands in the front, this is kind of saying, like, whoever this other person was, if this was a contract, an entity, another person, or something that didn't quite work out, this is the courage to say, I don't need them. Right? I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to make it happen. If that person isn't involved or they didn't want the job or they didn't want to sign the contract or whatever, don't need them. This is your confidence that you can do this. And I like that. Let's look at the mystery card. I almost forgot about the mystery card. It could be more fire energy. I'm kind of feeling an Empress energy here. I'm also feeling perhaps a Knight of Pentacles, showing that this Queen of Pentacles is turning around and looking at the future, right? Let's see. So that's my guess. If you have a guess, put it in the comments section. I'm thinking Knight of Pentacles or Empress. All right. I have high hopes here for you. Oh, well, it's neither of those. But I'll tell you something, it's even better. It's the Sun. Because the Sun not only has the power and the ambition, has the clarity, has the imagination. This is the human mind, the human soul, the human being doing what it does best. You know, being the best version of yourself. It's the card that rules this cycle of readings, right? It's a very confident energy. It's a very creative energy. And this is a card that's here to remind you and confirm for you that you are the source of all of this. That you are the one creating this success. That you are doing this. It is all in your power. It's an expression of yourself. And the Sun is also the gold, right? It's alchemical gold. This is talking about the literal success of what you're going to do, of what you're attempting to do. This is the clarity to see all of the options and all of the results of the options. The Sun has the perfect vantage point because it can see down each of these tracks, each of the railroad tracks, right? And can see, oh, no, that's a dead end too. There's a little bit of clairvoyance here. Yeah. So this is a good confirmation. This is saying that you will be successful, that you will have the clarity and the enlightenment that you require to get this done. This is our first major arcana energy. And it just so happens it's the same one that's ruling this cycle of readings, that's presiding over this energetic cycle. And it just so happens to be the Sun. This is really one of the best cards in the tarot deck as far as personal ambition and success and accomplishment, enlightenment, vision, creativity. There's also a lot of warmth and generosity coming off of you, right? And that's something to remember too. That you don't want to lose that part of yourself, that warmth, that generosity, that cheerfulness, right? This is also a good attitude. So it could be as simple as that. Just keep a good attitude. You're going to be all right. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click up there in the corner. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesday and Sunday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Sagittarius, you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.